Kia ora. We've seen plenty of rainfall across those far southern and western parts of the west coast. Some spots, Milford Sound for example, has seen over 400 millimetres in the last 48 hours. And we've got more rain to come as we head through the rest of today for Thursday. You can see this radar pattern showing that rainfall feeding in from the Tasman Sea, running towards not just that western coast, but also towards places like the Tasman area and starting to creep in towards Northland as well. You can see the back edge of this cloud shield out towards the west as that runs back towards us. We are in for some better weather for the weekend. But to get there, we've still got a fairly unsettled few days to come, not just on that western coast, but also places like Southland, Tasman, Nelson, Marlborough, up towards Wellington, some stronger winds for you, and even up in towards Northland and Auckland, perhaps even seeing some severe thunderstorms. So there's plenty happening. As we head through the rest of this afternoon, that low pressure you can see over the Tasman Sea pushes that rainfall across the country. Heaviest falls will be about the ranges of that westland region, particularly those areas south of Hokitika. But the rain feeds back in towards parts of Southland, some snowfall over the higher roads through there. And then as this front runs across those western parts of the North Island, there'll be some fairly heavy bursts and those, perhaps some downpours, perhaps some thunderstorms as we head through the night time tonight, Thursday, in towards that first part of Friday, and then it feeds in towards the Bay of Plenty before finally moving offshore. So it is still going to be a very unsettled story. And with that in mind, you can see we've gone crazy with the number of severe weather warnings and watches already in force. Now, this is just for the rainfall and the severe thunderstorm watch up through Northland and Auckland and across towards the Coromandel and the Bay of Plenty. Now, the rainfall we'll see down on the South Island is really a Thursday affair. Places like Southland, Fiordland, and up in towards Westland, Tasman, across and towards parts of Buller, particularly in towards, say, the Paparoa Ranges, and across in towards those inland parts of Marlborough. Well, what we'll see up and towards the north, that watch for rainfall there for Northland is as we head through the rest of today, and particularly overnight Thursday into Friday, and then Friday for places like the Bay of Plenty. Keep an eye on the watches, and for your local area information, head along to the Met Service website. It's not just the wet weather, we've also got watches for wind as well, strengthening northerly winds, perhaps reaching gale or even severe gale force through parts of the northern parts of the South Island, up towards Northland, Auckland, a blustery day for you. Gusts of 80 to 90 kilometres an hour, not out of the question. Places like Taranaki, those southern areas, in towards Wanganui, Taihape, Wellington, and up towards the Coromandel. Those winds increasing as we head through Thursday, and pretty brisk still through into Friday morning as well. Those watches there that last through till the first part of Friday. Head along to the Met Service website for all the latest information on those. Back to the North Island. Now, as we go in towards the night time tonight, Thursday into Friday, we'll find this rainfall runs across. Those darker blues showing the chance of some really intense bursts of rainfall as that runs across us. Could be some thunderstorms as it makes its way across us. So worth keeping in mind, particularly for that morning time for places like Auckland. It's going to be gusty, it's going to be wet, and we have got the risk of some pretty intense bursts of rain. Things get better behind it, at least the rain starts to clear away. We've also got a warning for heavy rainfall through the Coromandel and the Bay of Plenty, those northerly winds pushing that rainfall through in towards places like Tauranga and the Bay of Plenty through the daytime on Friday before things gradually clear away. You can see that spiral of winds still off that western coast of the South Island. That low pressure still keeping showers feeding in towards Taranaki and down towards Wellington by the end of the day. But generally, it is looking like a fairly wet and windy end to the week. Temperatures this week have been incredibly warm across the North Island. We've still got another warm day to come for tomorrow, for Friday. Temperatures up to around about 24s and 25s out on that eastern coast, elsewhere into your 20s, and overnight temperatures starting to be a little bit cooler than we've been seeing over the last few nights. Now, that wet weather on the South Island is with us as we go through Thursday. You can see we start off still with that rainfall on that western coast. There are some road snowfall warnings for parts of, say, the Milford Road and the Crown Range Road for those very early hours of Friday. There's some cold air creeping back in through there. You can see we keep hold of that wet weather on the western coast. It is easing away compared to what we'll see through the rest of Thursday, and gradually things are slowly getting better. Some of that wet weather, though, lingering up across parts of Nelson and Marlborough, and always keeping a fair covering of cloud in towards that eastern coast of Canterbury. Some spells of rain before things ease off as we head through the daytime. Some better and brighter weather down south, but that's also where we'll find that cold air. Check out our daytime temperatures for Friday. Now, compared to those very high temperatures we saw just a few days ago in places like Christchurch, where the temperature got up to about 28 degrees Celsius, highs now of only 15 degrees Celsius, a fair covering of cloud and some spells of rain. It's going to feel very different through the daytime here, and a cooler day down south. So 11 degrees Celsius for Invercargill, and our overnight minimum temperature back down to 3 degrees Celsius. So this week really has had a little bit of everything. As we head on in towards the weekend, the good news is things are gradually getting better. We've still got this troublesome area of low pressure around first thing on Saturday, bringing those showers and spells of rain in towards that western side of the North Line. Perhaps a pretty beefy southerly runs up in towards Wellington as we head through the Saturday as well. But all in all, the weather is set to improve by the end of Saturday, and high pressure starts to build over. So as we head through in towards Sunday, things should be much calmer. We lose the strength of those winds. We will also lose the wetter weather, but we will find with our winds now being southerly, it will be a fair bit cooler. There's still plenty happening across the country, especially down on that western coast, but wherever you are in New Zealand, there are going to be some pretty strong winds and some heavy rainfall about. So please do keep a close eye on the forecast and also those severe weather watches and warnings. And you can find all of that information at metservice.com.